How are you gonna do for tea?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Barber Barn. Just got here, setting up. So I'm gonna set this up over here so everyone can see what we're doing. No, put everybody on the camera until someone shows up.
Give me a second while I turn it off. It doesn't look like construction. It does look like
Wait, you're not prepared?
No.
Sounds incredibly weird.
Look, somebody was looking. Someone got on. I don't know who it was though. I think friends. I don't know.
The most Scotto thing ever. Electronics guy.
All right, y'all. Y'all see my chair over here? No, even on, but whatever.
Yeah, right. That's like fun one.
Well, you could just draw us pictures.
Really? Really?
That's clean.
Maybe we could talk church.
Get it more like.
My parents raised me until like 12.
There we go. That's better back here.
In the city, where I skateboarded and rode BMX, like all that sort of city kid stuff. And then they moved me down to an avocado grove in North San Diego, putting me in a place where there's nothing to do.
Get the boom out.
So you got to buy me a dirt bike. My parents were really against me riding dirt bikes because there's a lot of injuries from that. I have a lot of injuries from it. But I love the aggressive nature of dirt bikes. Jumping, sliding, riding dirt. I was actually on vacation with my parents, and there used to be a little bump in the road over like a bridge. So I went over, jumped a little bit, and kept going. Got pulled over. We got park ranger. Super mad at me and yelling at me and said I almost killed him. Like, I didn't want to get in trouble. My parents are close by somewhere in the campground. And anyway, like, I was like, okay, what are you gonna do? Like, he's like, oh, I'm gonna arrest you. Like, ah, crap. So I got arrested for jumping my car. Now if I don't jump, people get mad at me. We talked about donuts around Derrick.
Yep.
Reverse entry turn.
Yep.
Center axis donuts.
Yep.
Figure 8, jump. And the rock holding back the car for the walk.
Which I got a positive about. All right, so let's look at these photos. I got out of college, thought like, I'm going to go become a war journalist because during my junior year, 9/11 happened and I lived in New York City. This was my home. My first feature story ever was about the rampant gentrification of Brooklyn and why it wasn't wrong. Yeah, like I grew up in the city, please don't come here. And then I read about cars. Throughout the whole thing, there's sections of light and there's also dark sections. So depending on the tricks and the need to spark,
Even going down the light.
all of the younger culture magazines at the time when I was there, GQ or Maxim or Vibe or Complex, or everyone knew each other. And I happened to be the one person who could do a lot of money. So I'd write for everyone in the magazine under a fake name.
And that would make a natural figure 8 donut type thing anyway.
How wide is that gap? It's varying. There's 35, there's 45, like 65, 75.
Let's start at 75.
So it's very, very different. But
Well, it's all going to depend on this roll of the dice.
All right, so
how much this is real.
who's up on here? Anybody? Nobody.
Awesome, or maybe like
Nobody. But it's all right.
it's like one person.
Stop guessing, guys.
Where?
And there's some
It
like
was?
good under areas, like you've got like these kind of like overlooks and stuff, which A for camera. but
Let's
also
see now. How
for
can we broadcast this?
it's not easy to do this stuff I'm trying to do. The unicorn, like I'm afraid to drive this thing on high speed. Again, say it like 3 times. Right now.
Look for the pendulum to play with the unicorn on it.
Music on what?
Online and just that.
Look for the pendulum.
I'm not playing music on that.
Unicorn on it.
No, unicorn on it.
Yes, it is. You don't
Store?
have
Store?
Use it on it.
I'm just a part-based car driver, part marketing person.
Well, then I guess we make our own music.
I think what's really
Right?
unique about Ken is that it gets in and out of so many colors.
I gotta somehow broadcast this somehow.
You know, when you think of most racers,
I guess I gotta just tell people, right? Come join our channel.
NASCAR, sports car racing. Look guys, that's not all they do. Can jump between so many cars racing.
But this is just YouTube though.
So many cars.
But no one follows me on here. I gotta connect it to Facebook somehow.
So many cars in daily life. Yet he's able to put it on the head at any moment in any vehicle. And I'm like, whoa, I never seen that before.
It's a moving chicane,
What's
but
this?
it's a counter moving chicane, you know. So the chicane's actually coming at you. So in racing,
Hello?
a chicane is something you move the car down on a straightaway. So it's basically a moving chicane, but we've added some extra violence to it by having blades, because more violence makes everything better. So.
Here comes somebody.
Hey, Dirker, do you copy? It's Jeff.
Somebody's here, right?
The action is the car.
Oh, that was
it. Snowplows. You'll see that.
Someone looked like it was at the door. Are you sure?
All right, good. I mean, one of the main reasons why I'm here is, you know, I've raced this mountain so many times, so I kind of understand the dynamic of the mountain, and also I understand cars pretty well.
All right, whatever. Leave
This
it
car's
on.
so
I don't
wild
care.
and
Someone
different.
get fun.
The unicorns are the most
Figure it out.
all-wheel
Stay
drive
on.
vehicles.
Oh, man.
You know, 60s muscle
Maybe someone will
cars
see it.
with modern day
Hey,
all-wheel
one.
drive technology
Barbershop.
and a very modern engine. It's genuinely the funnest thing I've ever driven. It just drives like I'm fighting its effort to kill me.
Where's Ken?
Dan. Still waiting on KB. Coming back up the hill.
10 for me.
Here we go, guys. Is on the move.
Right,
So we're going to go on one. So we're going to go to our arm car position, okay? Everybody stand by for.
What's that?
Am I rolling on this tape?
Yes, this is a real check. Yeah.
Car is on the move. Ready, and 3, 2, 1. Action.
What's up, everybody? So I wonder if I go to Facebook and connect this stream. Facebook, more tools,
We're always looking for that real killer shot. He delivers
settings.
99% of the time. We normally use the first take. You know, he's absolutely
link
on the money.
accounts.
Scott or Derek, we're gonna.
Oh, look, now I can
real
connect
quickly
the.
while you guys figure out-
If not, now I can do Instagram. Let me see if it's gonna work.
Number one, to get a car to perform here, the altitude has to be addressed. I mean, the engine management here, you climb over a mile an hour.
Live stream still on.
I mean, and this is an altitude that the FAA requires that you wear oxygen in an airplane. You know, there's a lot going on up here.
I mean, one of the reasons we're back here is because we had such an issue with the unicorn last time.
So think about a bag of chips at sea level, like they kind of have some airspace, and then you bring them to the top of Pikes Peak at 14,000 feet, and they're hard as a rock. Same thing was happening with that car, except it wasn't sealed off quite as good as a bag of Lay's, and oil was coming out. So a bit of an issue when you lose oil. You eventually lose motors and things like that. So
That's the thing I think about hill climb is, I mean, think of how much it affects you. You know, you can feel yourself being winded. It just becomes an issue of what.
Right.
It's the same thing for a car. It runs on oxygen. It's like that's what makes it work. Scott or Derek, does Ken have comms on? So Ken, I just reviewed through the footage. It's not the best shot, but like your action looks really good on it. So just give me the wildest exit you can. I mean, that's what we're trying to get. So
However you want to throw that out there. If it's getting it towards the arm car, throwing a little more sideways.
you know, as wild as possible is best.
And this will be our last run. One more run. Last run. 3, 2, 1. Action, action.
That's pretty rad. That's really great. Ken, that line was perfect. Our success over the last 10 years has relied on us building an incredible crew. Take this guy, Magic, one of our camera ops. Ken drifting right to the barrier just as the helicopter passes overhead. But we only know he's close to the barrier if we get a proximity shot. So Magic has to stand there 3 feet from the unicorn, right under a helicopter. Oh, and also, I have him standing on top of an apple box at the edge of a cliff. It's the cliff, like 1,000 feet down. But that's what it takes to get the shot.
Yeah, you just want to chase them on the high side, looking down, so that we can kind of do it that way. That way we play the edges instead of the face on this side. This should be good with a little bit of snow falling at the same time. Good for the overcrank stuff. Yeah, this is what Mike speaks about. Changes all the time. Good, that's all right. No, that's a good move.
Today I got called Fat Paul Walker. Really? I took that as a compliment. Better than Fat Ben Margera.
Hey, Jeff, I'm going to move Cotto into the center of this donut.
Ooh, share a link.
Put him on a super
This
wide.
is how you
Just
do
kinda
it.
spin with the
Ooh, I can share the link to Facebook.
Thanks, bud. Yes. Just beat up lightning.
All this shit. Look at
AJ,
this.
I just want to let you know there is some lightning in the background.
What did I click on? Oops, let's close that shit. Let me see if I can share to Facebook. There it goes. Oh, what?
I mean, we got the pieces that I think
Oh,
we need.
they
So.
ended. YouTube ended Facebook. What else can I do? Twitter, WhatsApp. What's the other one? I can't even do call it.
All right, sounds good. I'll wait for you guys down here to grab us.
I can do it by
It sucks to get stuck
WhatsApp.
by lightning after a good day,
Yeah, for tomorrow, I mean, it's looking just like it did today. This morning, it's clear.
Oh, I got
As of
WhatsApp.
right now, I just actually had lightning hit at Canada.
So if I
So
do
before
this to all
we
my
go out there,
contacts,
hit
they'll
the
see it.
Peek
Make
behind
it
the
start.
people are at, like you can see it.
That's how it
I don't
starts.
know with the lightning and stuff
Let me
being that
see.
close. I know the top's going to get worse. The radar coming in, nothing. It's not nothing left for us today
Right.
because it's going to be wet. It's actually hailing up there. Starting line still could dry out later, but it's up to you guys.
Tomorrow, there's some other stuff you can pick up on the W's.
Yeah, that's up there.
One conversation we might have want to have with Ken tonight is
Drift to the edge.
that's like that big rig shot at that Evo corner. Like, is that something that's really kind of sketching you out?
It's not a rig shot, and I don't want to do it more than once. I just knew that at some point we're going to use a particular turn because it is the one turn
It started.
that is the most
Let's get
dramatic
back to my life.
views still
We'll
down
download this.
from probably like 12,500 feet. And there's been some very iconic photos on this corner.
Still got nobody.
Now, what makes
Get
it
it?
still
Okay.
really usable for us and what we want to do is there's no guardrail.
Because I think you want that moment of kind of stuck in your stomach where you think the car's going off, but yet,
Is that the same?
yeah, that's the
I
point.
mean, that's how old of that iconic it is.
See how it's not a cliff, so it's not even
Yeah.
45 degrees.
But I mean, the pole we had hangs what, 8 feet off the side of the car?
But
Like,
it's still not looking off a cliff. It's still just going to look down and you'll see a bank with rocks stuck.
but if you're looking forward, you're not looking straight down. You're looking forward. You will feel the earth drop out from underneath you. So.
Just a couple of years ago, a Mitsubishi Evo went off there. He thought he was on a different corner, and this corner comes out. It looks just like a corner before, one step below.
And he came in there thinking he was in a different turn.
And as you come through it, you're waiting to see the guardrail, and then you brake at that guardrail. So he came around this corner looking for the guardrail. It wasn't there. The corner tightens. It's a 45-degree, roughly, face of gravel with big rocks in it. Oh, luckily, he was in a very safe and well-built car and tumbled a couple hundred yards down this thing and lived. But, it could have been really bad. So that particular corner I knew was something we had to shoot.
It's kind of the iconic Pikes Peak shot of the cars drifting around in the mornings.
Didn't shoot it the first day, which I had to think about it the whole first day. And then talking to Brian, he's like, first thing up is Evo Corner. And I'm like, oh, really?
So you can think about it all night long.
Yeah, I'll tell you, you
can sleep on it.
Yeah.
You forget how much bigger this mountain is as we were at Mount Washington. I
don't think there's any comparison.
I'm still in an argue on that.
No, man. Mount Washington's 90% of the road, you're not dead if you go out.
You're more likely to die hitting a tree than you are falling. I mean, look at the Evo. The Evo shows that big, nice, long rolls just take the impact right out.
Comfortable rolls.
Comfortable rolls.
So, it's early morning. I know what everyone's expecting. Brian and I, we talked about how many tire marks I'm able to put down in this corner because it's sketchy. But also, there's no reference. There's nothing. When you're sitting in the driver's seat, there's tarmac, there's a little bit of gravel on the edge, and then it's just sky. I really had to walk the corner several times and look at it, and I'd driven it and looked at it for a couple days, just so I had some sort of visual. I actually went out there on that morning and set a stack of rocks. I made a stack of rocks. That dangerous sketchy spot right there, made a little stack of rocks.
Guys, our track is hot and locked. Everybody stand by for picture, please.
It was a pretty nerve-wracking moment because the car actually wasn't working that great for those last 2 days of shooting.
This is the highest we've ever driven this car. We never got this far last time, so this is the farthest up this car has driven. So,
as you climb and climb, the throttle response is different. So when you press the throttle, you don't get the same delivery as you start climbing at the W's.
So I just had to keep kind of driving through this stuff. And the way that I drove through this particular problem was I'd have to be on the gas earlier than I wanted. So if I said I needed to do full throttle here, well, that meant I actually had to try and do full throttle here. Normally, the reaction with most of our cars is very quick. And for some reason, we were just having some issues.
We're already not going Brian to do that right. Action.
Action, everybody, roll cameras, action.
And so I went and drove it for the first time on camera. The first time I went through, I was being a little conservative. And I had kind of a very conservative line through there.
We also, because from Ken's standpoint, the cameras are reporting that he's not very close to the edge.
Cannon, you on comms? All right. Now that we got the test run out of the way, let's take a look at the edge.
pressure.
So I went back down to reposition, and while I'm repositioning, I'm thinking, man, this is going to take 20 tries, and I think back to the moment when I was doing Gymkhana 9, and we were trying to get that water's edge moment. That took a lot of tries because I had to be within inches to make it look good. Brian's like, oh, you're still 4 inches off. It's like, is this just too much for me? Like, so as I was going back down and getting ready for the second run, I think, is this a time for me to quit? Is it like, can I handle this? Can my nerves handle it?
We prepared ourselves on our side with recovery and had to recover the car as we went over.
You know, the consequences on the Gymkhana 9 with the water's edge, yeah, there was the water drop 15 feet below, but like, it's water, it sucked, made it hurt a little bit, but like, that how far down it was humble. I mean, the Evo that crashed there was lucky. They were lucky to walk away.
So anyway, that's all going through my mind. And, all right, well, I'm in the moment. I'm in the place where I want to be. I'm doing one of the raddest things I could possibly do. And what happened that second run was,
Okay, here we go.
All right, Brian, I'm ready. 3, 2, 1, action.
so I took the second run and just like, okay, I'm just going to step up a little bit. But the problem with the engine setup in those turbos, it's hard to add 10%.
Oops. This was such an important shot for us. It's such that iconic moment that I wanted to watch our hero camera. So I was sitting right behind Magic, looking at it through the lens. And as it was happening, there was that realization that he wasn't going to pull it back out.
I'm 90 degrees basically to the road. I know I've got to keep the front wheels on tarmac or I'm going off.
This is one of the worst places to go to the edge here too. No guardrails, nothing. And Ken just ran it clear to the edge. No intimidation.
Hey, do you have WhatsApp? You do? So let me try this if this works. I'm gonna forward you with this. Yeah, no, here we go. I just sent you something. See if it works. Click on that and let's see if it goes to our channel. This channel.
When I got, to the end and started slowing down, I called over. I'm not doing that again. That was as good as I can fucking do it. So it better be good enough. Oh shit!
Good. I thought it was over.
It was awesome because it was a little bit of the old days of the dirt driving combined with the pavement. I mean, I don't know how we could get more epic shots. So, and I mean, Ken again just blows me away. Seriously.
Oh, Ken.
That is so beautiful.
Yeah, I've got that from the camera project.
Oh, so good.
That's good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. By the way, next year it's 50. You can't do this stuff.
It was way too good.
50's the cutoff.
Yes, but until then, we got a lot to do before November.
I've watched Ken from afar for many, many years. And
I'll turn it off for a while.
you come in the corner,
Like, hey,
look
live.
at your car, angle,
Trying to get that
I've never
going.
even witnessed. And those are the moments where the director would just say, okay, it can't get any better than this. We can walk away.
To me, it's one of the most beautiful shots that we've ever gotten. And it's one of the most dramatic, and the image of it really harkens
Maybe
back
later this
to
afternoon. Who knows?
many years ago when that road was completely dirt and guys were driving that thing flat out sideways. To me, this really is a, homage to like that level of driving and that sort of skills that it takes to drive up the mountain. Because you don't have to do that today, but I wanted to do it that way.
I mean, I don't know when it started, but certainly even the first year I ran here, which was, way back in 1990, the reward at the summit was to get up here and have a warm, fresh made donut. And I swear it's never a time that I come up here to the summit, I don't feel like I got to get a donut.
The Pikes Peak Evo Corner, which arguably I would say is now the Unicorn Corner.
Did we know how rad it would turn out? No.
The whole success of Gymkhana has been based on these kind of iconic moments where you say, "Oh shit, this is incredible! I got to share this with someone."
I mean, that's the thing about Gymkhana 10. That we're trying to find those moments best ever.
It could be something that lives in Sweden, stuff that comes out of Texas, Detroit.
We've set everything in motion for it to be the best, most dynamic one ever. But what are these moments that put it above the rest? I don't know yet.
It's almost like we're chasing something that we can't get. I go and start talking to people, and they're like, "Oh, what do you do?" I'm like, "Oh, I make these videos about cars. They're called Gymkhana." They don't know, no recognition. This guy can't walk, rally racing, no recognition because they're not in the world. They'll keep talking, and then eventually they're like, "Wait, you guys shut down that bridge in San Francisco?" I mean, fine with red. We shut down the Bay Bridge.
There were elements like that in the video that I was just really stoked on because
we jumped Russian Hill.
We tried to make this look kind of wild.
That's that weird thing that just connects with people. Everyone has like a favorite. Everyone's like, Gymkhana 7. Gymkhana 2. Gymkhana 5. I think the forever goal is to beat Gymkhana 5. It's like, how are we going to top this? So that's why we're like 5 locations, 5 different vehicles, 5 completely different concepts. But the stakes are like, we go through all this work and we make like a whole show following the process. So it's like, hey, check it out. Here's all the stuff in the closet and how we make this. So we're exposing ourselves to that, and then the end result isn't as good as we're promoting it to be. That's embarrassing.
Tracy, she has. I'm gonna see if it works for her too. Maybe you know why it might not work with you. Maybe because you're using the same internet. You don't think that's why?
The first time I ever came here, I was just driving cross country for a magazine article. At the time, it was just a cool place to shoot cars because everything was just abandoned and there was no one here to bother you.
On WhatsApp, does 2 check marks mean that you clicked on it or something? Or what does that mean? So you read it or you clicked that you read it?
something like that.
So
Yeah,
he read it.
and the city told us, no,
Why
thank
didn't
you.
it go to Tracy?
They really wanted us to focus more on like downtown Detroit, not the Detroit ruins.
Like there were blogs of photographers putting out photos of like the urban decay.
What does it say?
That's the stuff I love. And
that's why we wanted to come here.
yeah, like and I think the story of Detroit is so cool that like the automotive industry and then times changing, and to me you can't show this place without the cool urban decay, and they didn't want to show it at all really.
We're returning now 6 years later with the exact same concept as
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do mine real quick. Hold on.
Okay, Ken. So up ahead on your right hand side, we'll be passing a rather steep wall I'd like you to drive on.
I can do by email too.
What if
So
you
I
drive
did
down the
that way.
highway and you see the concrete like at an angle,
And if you have a really good imagination, or you're like a 12-year-old, you're like, man, I wish I could like hit that like in a truck full speed, like Dukes of Hazzard style, right?
We can't push things much further without them getting into kind of the world of like ridiculous stunts. Like we don't do loopy-loops, we don't do barrel rolls like this. We are, but at the same time, I wanted to bring something new to Detroit.
Oh boy! I don't even think if I get the cars loose, they will even stick.
At least straightforward.
Are we supposed to stop?
Well, we were gonna go look at it from the top and come back, but we're already here, so we.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my hazards on.
We're safe.
Oh, it's
So for this trick, I need Ken to transition onto the wall, kind of drift around like an alley-oop or vertical donut. The art department needs to build a transition to get him up onto the wall. They can either make a ramp or a slight kicker. We've used both in our business. This is an example of a ramp. This is a kicker. Ramp, kicker, ramp, kicker.
All right, don't
So
leave.
we are building two
It's all right.
two ramps for doing on the 75 freeway. Yeah, we've had like 48 hours at this point to build two massive ramps which have like legs and a lot of stuff going on.
And Ken is very skeptical of the trick.
It's a good angle on a snowboard.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how cars will behave, what he's going to get away with.
I mean, it would be pretty sick looking, and it would give us one really unique trick here in Detroit.
I think you should have a backup.
Yeah. When we show up in Detroit, and it's like day one, it's a rain day. It's never fun to start a shoot with a rain day.
For the past year, I've been having a shoulder issue, and like I can't do a push-up right now. So I went in to get the MRI, and they be in the machine, you know. And I got in, and like the edge of like where you can see is like here, and I freaked out and made them take me back out of it. And I don't have a necessarily a claustrophobic, like if you put me in a small space, whatever, I'm like, in a small space. But as long as I can move my arms, if there's like an escape route, great. But one of my biggest nightmares is if like you rolled me up in a carpet, and this was literally that in like a medical form. So I tried 4 times, like to get in there, and I got in there one time for 6 minutes, and they got 1 scan done. I tell myself in my mind, just get in there and just do it. But like the physical revulsion of being in that situation kept me from staying in. Like I couldn't. I tried 4 different times. They even like made me fast the night before, so I felt kind of queasy. I'm like, okay, I'll try and eat. And when they ate, I felt better. I'm like, okay, I think I can do this. And I got back in there. And as I was going back in, like my shoulder really rubbed against the side of the MRI machine, and I'm like, ah! Yeah, that's all I get there. We're on the move, guys. Yep.
I was going to suggest go get umbrellas so we can walk outside.
Yeah, Nate was talking about
Is that an option?
Yeah.
But
later on, if we stop on the way, that'd be great.
okay.
If not, we can talk about our first piece of business underneath the launch while someone goes to get umbrellas.
You do have conversation on the bridge.
Let's start on the bridge.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Just pause for these
This
few
hasn't been
moments.
confirmed by Jeremy yet, but the city's making us stop shooting every day at 3 p.m. So our days are